أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear brothers and sisters, Lebanon has some of the most corrupt politicians and divided political sects and movements in the world. Each of them is controlled by Western influences, namely the US, the UK and France, either directly or through the use of other countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia. The Western states meddling in Lebanon's political affairs is part of a wider regional context focused on controlling and fighting, such as controlling countries like Syria, Palestine and other neighboring Muslim countries. The ordinary people in Lebanon have lost all confidence in the politicians and elites and have been on the streets for the past few months protesting and voicing their disgust at the corruption taking place. The lack of electricity, water, jobs and even simple services like bins being collected has left people suffering and struggling to meet their basic needs or to live an ordinary life. People are only granted water and electricity for a limited number of hours during the day, and for the rest of the time they have to rely on purchasing from owners of generators or large power banks and building additional water tanks for supplies during the rest of the hours. The recent economic problems have left the lira at an all-time low. Prices of basic goods and services rising and wages falling. People are no longer able to withdraw money from their bank accounts, and those who were able to are being handed money in the lira currency according to the new exchange rate, which means that the value of their money has dropped, making them a loss. The recent explosion in Beirut was as a result of almost 3,000 metric tons of ammonium nitrate not stored safely for more than 9 years. This explosion was not a matter of incompetence, but rather carelessness about the condition of the people. The only thing on the mind of the elites is any opportunity to fill their pockets, all of this at the expense of the people. But this is not the underlying reason behind the explosion. The explosion, alongside the continuous scandals, corruption, occupation and suffocation of the whole region, is the result of the meddling of the Western states in the Levant for over the last 100 years. Since the Sykes-Picot Agreement and the continuous plotting, scheming and dividing of the region by the hands of the Western states, the people, irrespective of their religious backgrounds in the Levant, have seen nothing but misery. Gone are the days when the needs and the rights of the people were secured, where the people lived side by side under the shade of the Islamic rule in harmony and tranquility. Lebanon was a creation of the European colonialists nearly 100 years ago and was divided through a system where different sects would share rule. This ensured no one faction could dominate the nation's politics and has been the source of the country's divided and factional politics. After being described as the Paris of the Middle East, the decades-long civil war and now government failure has revealed Lebanon is now the latest failed project exported from the West. This political bomb is as devastating as the explosion in Beirut itself. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect the Ummah and return the Islamic rule to us soon, a state that will look after the people rather than thriving at the expense of the livelihood and safety of the people. Ameen wa akhiru da'wahum anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.